We are live. What is going on, everyone? Thank you all so much for tuning in at this time. Everybody that's here, I greatly appreciate it. Anybody watching this on the replay, thank you so much. Don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel. What a win, right? Back to back. And what's even more impressive, we not only got back-to-back wins, but back-to-back wins against two of the top teams in the league, right? I mean, you're talking the Boston Celtics without LeBron and AD, which was, in my opinion, the best win of the season, right? Um, and to do that against the best team in the league, and then follow that up with the Knicks, who have been the best team in the league since the OG Anunoby trade. They've been just on fire. Prevent them from going on a 10-game win streak, cut their streak to 9, right? And more than anything, the biggest thing, right? Because the Lakers have beaten good teams. The Lakers have had moments and stretches like this where they've won, 3, 4, or 2, 3 in a row. The biggest thing is they're doing this on the road. And that's what the Lakers' biggest problem has been all season. Getting it done on the road, right? They've been a great home team, but they've been abysmal on the road. And the fact that they were able to come out, go get this W against, again, the hottest team in the league right now. They've won something crazy like what? I think they had like an 8-game win streak or 9-game win streak or something like that before, and then they lost. So like it's something like they won 20 out of the last like 25 or something like that. I know they've won a bunch of games, and for the Lakers to come into New York and to close that game out in the fashion they did, especially being down in the fourth quarter, right? The Lakers, we know going into the fourth, they're like 20-1 on the season. So basically, when they have a lead in the fourth, they get the job done, which is good because in 2020 we're the only team to this day that has ever been undefeated with a lead going into the fourth. So that's a good sign, right? Because if you get into the playoffs and you get into the postseason and you have those tight games, the Lakers have the lead, it's showing that they are able to close this season. It's showing that they're able to pull these games out late in games, right? So that's good. And, I love what we saw, right? I love what Anthony Davis did, setting the tone on the defense side of things. He was an absolute monster and menace. LeBron getting after it on the defensive side. I mean, he had some spectacular defense against Brunson. And, just across the board, right? The Lakers looked very good this game. And everyone deserves credit. Even Darvin Ham. I know people hate Darvin Ham, right? But this was a good coached game. He had his game plan. They executed it beautifully. Right? They did what they had to do and they got the win. Right? Myself included, we're so quick to jump on Darvin Ham and jump on this team. When they do the right things, I think we should compliment them, right? And again, we're riding with this team. The Lakers are going to make a trade. I fully believe that they will. Obviously, nothing's guaranteed, but I believe that they'll get a trade done. I believe that they'll make a trade, but I don't know how big or vast that trade is. It could just be DeJounte Murray, and that's it. We could use another piece because Jared Vanderbilt, we got news. I got to make a video about it. I haven't had a chance to make a video about it. But we got a report from Woj. Jared Vanderbilt might be out for the season. So ideally, if it is a 3-team deal with the Nets, like it's looking like it might be, hopefully we can grab a Royce O'Neal or a Dorian Finney-Smith. But I love the defensive energy. Again, I say this all the time. When the Lakers show up, they play the right way, they share the basketball, they lock down defensively, they rebound the basketball. There was a lot of just miscues. Don't get me wrong, this was far from a perfect game. They gave up too many offensive rebounds, in my opinion. But the Knicks are one of the best teams in the league at that. And so outside of that, this was a great team win, right? Again, when the team plays the right way and they're bought in and they're focused, they're doing the things that they're supposed to do, we're going to win a lot of games, right? This team is very talented. This team has a lot of talent on it. It's just, can they put it all together and do it consistently? That's the problem, right? Again, like these type of games this season, unfortunately, have been an outlier rather than the norm, right? If the Lakers can get back to these type of games against the Celtics, against the Knicks as the norm, and we'll be a playoff team. We'll catch the Pelicans and stuff like that. But that's the thing. Can we stream this together? Right? The next game is the Hornets. And personally, I would love to come on here and be like, oh man, 3-game win streak coming up. Let's get it. We about to smack the Hornets. But unfortunately, the reality is that I can't do that because the Lakers have shown that they'll lose to a Hawks team. They'll lose to they'll lose to these bad teams and then show up and beat the good teams. Right? I want to believe that they're about to smack the Hornets and then follow that up with what? They have a 3-game homestand or something like that against the Pelicans and stuff. Like, I am all for that. Let's go. I would love to see that. But with the Lakers this season, unfortunately, it's one of those things where I have to see it to believe it, right? If you show me and you continue to play this way, then I'm in. Let's get it, right? I will hype you up and defend you till the wheels fall off. Because I do believe the Lakers could win a championship. I do believe they have the talent. I have said this even when they were abysmal and losing like 4 in a row and all that stuff. I said, get to the playoffs. I'll take my chances with this team. You give me a healthy LeBron, healthy AD, and we get into the playoffs. Let's do it. I'm all for it, 100%. All right. The only team that I have concerns about is the Nuggets, and it's only because they're proven, right? Everybody else, I think the Lakers can realistically beat. I'm not saying that they're just going to run through the playoffs or anything like that. It very well could be an uphill battle, but we've seen what this team can do when they're bought in, when they do what they need to do. So my hope is that they start getting – it's never too late, right? Until the season's over and you're out of it, it's never too late to turn it around, do the things that you need to do, start rattling off some wins here, start gathering some W's. Let's go do that, right? We're over 500. Let's go beat the Hornets. Now we're 2 games over 500, and let's start straining this together. I do have my concerns about that Denver and Pelicans games because we may end up being incredibly shorthanded, right? You have Vanderbilt out. Cam Reddish, we'll see what happens with him. And then you have Gabe Vincent, right? But the Lakers, if they end up trading, 2 or 3 guys, we may end up only having like 7 guys on the roster at that point. So we'll see. Time will tell. But great win, great team win. I love what we saw. I love what we saw in this game. Everybody chipped in. Everyone did what they needed to do. But anyway, let's dive into the box scores real quick. And then after we jump into the box scores, we'll jump into all of your super chats and regular questions. I, again, appreciate all of you hanging out with me. Make sure to hit that like button, please. No, people don't like it when people say it, but hey, it helps a ton. You have no idea. So hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. You guys are awesome. All right, let's dive into the box scores and break these guys down. One thing, again, credit Darvin Ham. Okay. He removed his baby daddy out of the starting lineup and inserted Rui Hachimura. I'm not going to lie. I was very surprised when I saw that. I was very surprised. And he had a great game. Taurean Prince had a very good game this game. So I was very surprised that that Darvin Ham made that move. Right? When Jared Vanderbilt went out, I was like, here we go. D'Lo, Reaves, Prince, LeBron, and AD. That's going to be the starting 5 for the rest of the season. And no, he actually inserted Rui. Rui he didn't get a ton of shots, but he was solid. 3 of 5 from the field, 60%, which is good. He was 0 of 2 from 3. Again, I don't like how they use Rui. I really don't. But nonetheless, 7 points, 4 rebounds, 1 assist. LeBron James was spectacular. LeBron James, 10 of 19 from the field, 2 of 5 from 3, 5 rebounds, 5 assists, 2 steals, a block, 24 points. And he was getting after it on the defensive side. I loved seeing that. He also played 40 minutes, which I don't really like. I don't really like LeBron playing those kind of minutes, but got to do what you got to do to get the win, right? Unfortunately, we don't have the cushion to let LeBron play, 30 minutes. So, but good on him. Anthony Davis didn't take a ton of shots, but and I don't want to undersell this, absolutely dominant. Anthony Davis was pure dominance this game, which just shows how valuable Anthony Davis is. Everyone else was cooking. Everyone else was doing his thing. It's one of the things that I have really praised Anthony Davis for in the past, right? You see a lot of stars in this league that have to get their shots. They have to get the ball, right? Whether they win or lose, they don't care. They need to get their 20 points. They need to get their 25, whatever, right? They need to get their shots up. And Anthony Davis is one of those guys that's totally okay with just locking down on the defensive side of things, rebounding the basketball, doing the little things that are important to win the game when everyone else is cooking. And that's what he did this game. So, again, credit Anthony Davis. We know what he's capable of doing. He's been spectacular this season on the offensive side of things. But to see him be able to really come out here and just set the tone on the defensive side of things and control this game the way he controlled it was massive. He had 12 points, 18 rebounds, 5 assists, 1 steal, 4 blocks. Was 4-12 from the field. Again, didn't get a ton of shot attempts, but man, he was. I'm telling you, if you watch that game, he was utterly dominant. Austin Reaves followed up with another great game. That's 3 in a row. I love seeing it. And look, like I've said, I would love to see Austin Reaves turn it around. But can he consistently do this? Here's the other thing that I keep stressing about Austin Reaves. His three-point shooting. If he can get back to being a 40% three-point shooter, it'll make things so much easier. One of the biggest struggles Austin Reaves has had this year is he can't shoot the 3-ball. And because he can't shoot the 3-ball, it makes him have to work twice as hard to score everywhere else. Because now teams are okay with him shooting. We've seen games where teams are like, hey, you want to take that shot? Take that shot. And they live with it. But then Austin Reaves, all of a sudden, he hits 2 or 3 of them. And now teams, when he gets the ball out on the perimeter, they're closing. They're hitting him hard because they're trying to get him off that 3-point line, which allows him to kind of just get past the defender, pull up, get the step in, or pull up shot, get his little little floater around the basket, gives him the opportunity to make plays for others, as well as make it much more easier for him to score. 6-13 from the field, 3 of 6 from 3, 7 of 8 from the foul line, 7 assists, 6 rebounds, 22 points, 2 block shots. Put on a clinic. I love seeing what we saw from Austin Reaves. Credit Austin Reaves. D'Angelo Russell, 5 of 14 from the field, 2 of 7, 4 assists, 16 points. He played 27 minutes, and I don't think he played at all in the fourth. But he was a great constant. Obviously, we know what he can do both sides of the basketball. Honestly, I still believe he's going to end up getting traded. I still think DeJounte Murray comes through. Taurean Prince, 6-10 from the field, 3 of 6 from 3, right? 2 assists, 2 rebounds, 1 block, 16 points. Love seeing it. Lakers had what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 guys again, double figures, right? You get 6, 7 guys, double figures. Lakers usually win those games. How many assists do they have? I bet you they had over. Come on, where's my little cursor thing? They had what? They had. They had 28 assists this game. Okay, but still around 30, which is good, close to 30. But solid game. And even Jackson Hayes in 12 minutes gave you 10 points, which I liked. 3 of 3 from the field, 3 rebounds. But again, solid game, great team win, great team effort, great team everything. I love seeing what we saw from him, from everybody. But anyways, dive into the super chats and regular chat and all that stuff. Again, appreciate you all being here. Levine, chose surgery over Detroit. Yeah, that's exactly what it looks like. Dude, to talk about timing, I made a video talking about like the news, because there was news that came out about Zach LaVine from who is it, Jake Fisher, and the news came out like late last night. So I was like, okay, let me make the video, and tomorrow I made the video. I literally uploaded the video, and like 2 minutes after it posted, boom, we got the news about Zach LaVine getting traded. Talk about timing. I mean, literally, like I posted the video. I checked it real quick. Okay, how's it good? Because I was on my way out. I had a kid's birthday party to go to, take my kids to. And so I got the video up, and I like looked at it real quick, like on the way out the door. And then boom, I get the notification on my phone. And I had like 10 views because it was up for like 45 seconds. Like, and I was like, there's no way this is real life. Like, that sucks. And it happens. It doesn't happen often, but it does. Like, if most YouTubers do that stuff, right? Like, it's funny. You'll post something and then something will come out. That's why it's always like, like it happened to me a couple times last year too. Like the one that was good was the Rui deal. That's actually how I got the nickname Laker Damas. I literally made a video about Rui Hachimura, but that wasn't like instant. That was like an hour or two later. But I made a video about Rui Hachimura, and I was like, hey, here's a name that's not really thrown out there that I think would make sense and may be available. And boom, all of a sudden we got the notification. So like sometimes it's in your benefit, right? Like I've had stuff where like I've posted and like it's happened and it just like skyrocketed my views and subscribers and all that stuff and been beneficial. And then there's times where it's like the last, like today, where I post that video about Zach LaVine, and I'm like, hey, here's the new news and updates. Should the Lakers get in on this, right? Because they may be able to get an asset, but and then boom, I get the notification that he's that he's out for the season, and I was like, and of course, like every comment on that video is like, you're an idiot. It's like, dude, I'm not a fortune teller. Like, I don't know. I'm just making my videos, recording them, editing them, posting them, and things happen. But nonetheless, yeah, it is pretty funny. It's ironic. But anyway, let's dive into the regular chat. Yeah, but Andrew, our boy Levine, the hope is dead. But Adam, Harden with only 4 points yesterday. How embarrassing for him as dead. Yeah, some guys just have those bad games, right? Tyler, do you think the Rams are the NFL version of the Lakers and the Chargers are the NFL version of the Clippers? In the sense of like one team's won a championship, one team hasn't. And like every year the Chargers are expected to be good and then they just aren't. I think fan base wise, I think the Chargers fan base is bigger. Like just because the Chargers have been around longer as far as like LA, like the Rams were in LA back in like the 90s and stuff, or early 90s, and then moved out and went to St. Louis, and then they came back. But like the Chargers always had their, their fan base for so long. And from San Diego to now LA and all that stuff. So I don't know. I think for like championship wise, the Rams definitely would be, but like I think fan base wise, I just think the Chargers fan base is larger, right? More people are fans of Chargers. More people grew up with the Chargers, right? As opposed to the Rams. But I could see at some point that kind of switching over if the Rams stay, right? Like because everyone thought they were going to stay last time, and all of a sudden they're moving to St. Louis. So, yeah, good thing we didn't get Harden yet. Tyler, did Austin Reaves remind you of Game 6 Clay with the way he played against the Celtics? I don't know about Game 6 Clay. Game 6 Clay was like historically great. Like Game 6 Clay was like unridiculously believable. But Austin Reaves, we know has the talent. The problem is he just hasn't been consistent this year. He just hasn't done the things regularly, right? Like that's the problem. Like we saw what he did last year, but he hasn't been able to replicate that consistently. He's had stretches like he had what, a 4 or 5 game stretch like this where he was averaging 20 points a game like a month and a half ago, 2 months ago, right? Like, so we know it's still in there, but usually when he has these stretches and he has these runs, it's because his 3-point shot is falling, which is something that I've talked about heavily. If he can start knocking down the 3, it's going to open up and expand so much for him. It's going to help him and benefit him so much because he won't have to work as hard to go get buckets because now he'll be more versatile. Where when his 3 isn't falling, he stops shooting it and then he tries to be aggressive, but now teams know like, okay, he's not going to shoot it. Or if he is going to shoot it, let him shoot it. And it just, and it makes things just much more challenging for him. But if he can consistently knock down the 3 ball, look, Austin Reaves is bad. Like, and look, I've said countless times, like, I think the Austin Reaves hate is overblown. Like, he hasn't been, like, people act like he's been trash this year. I don't think he's been trash. He just hasn't been great. He hasn't been the Austin Reaves that we thought he was going to be. But he's been a solid role player. There's just times where he's like literally unplayable. And that's the problem, right? It's like he has these games where it's like he's our worst defensive player. And when he can't shoot the basketball and he's like 2 of 9 or something like that, it's like, why is he out there? right? So it's just like it's just been really hot and cold with Reaves. But the last few games, he's been much better defensively, and he's hitting his threes, and he's starting to look like Austin Reaves of last year. But again, he did this for a 4 or 5 game stretch before. Can he keep this up? If he can, the Lakers are going to be good, right? Because the Lakers are going to end up most likely trading D'Lo for DeJounte Murray. Then you'd have Reaves. Hopefully they can get like a Dorian Finney-Smith or something like that, and the Lakers would be in good shape. But we'll see. Time will tell. Do you think Braun is just lying to us as stands that he wants to play with Bronny on the same team? No, absolutely not. I think he will at some point, but he's not going to do it anytime soon, right? Like a lot of people are worried. Look, people were concerned LeBron was going to leave, last year or 2 years ago, whatever it was. And I said, he's not going to leave. Don't worry about it. He's going to opt in. He'll be fine. He's not going anywhere. Not yet, at least, right? He wants to play with his son. But a lot of people interpreted that as like, as soon as his son gets drafted, that's where he's going. No. What's going to happen is he'll either opt in or he'll sign a new 1+1. And then he'll give it a year or two. And once he's ready to hand it up, he'll probably play with his kid for a year or two. Maybe both of his kids, right? He'll probably do something like that. Like I could see him playing like 2 years from now, maybe playing a year with Bronny, and then, plays that year, opts out of his deal, and then goes signs and plays with his son, Bryce, plays with his son for a year, and then maybe goes back to Cleveland just to sign a contract to retire. If I had to guess, that's probably his timeline. So Lakers probably got LeBron at least probably 2 more years. I also think it'll depend on how competitive the Lakers are. Right? If the Lakers are really good and they have a chance and like they can get some nice trades and kind of turn pieces around, then yes. But if the Lakers keep being a play-in team, then I think LeBron will eventually be like, all right, like if I'm going to be a play-in team, I could just go play with my son in the Spurs or whatever, right? And like go and at least have fun with my kid for a year or two while I still got it. That's probably something. Big time road win. Yes, Sammy. That was huge, huge. Finally, we are playing like a team. Yep. This was great team win. Great team win. I've never seen worse defense in my life than D'Lo today. I'm not even exaggerating or trying to put him down. Like, how do you just open up like every play, slide your feet? Yeah. He needs to get more focused on the defense side of things. If the Lakers win the championship, you should eat like 40 wings live on your YouTube so we can celebrate together. We'll have to do something. If the Lakers win the championship, we'll have to do something crazy. Do something fun. Tyler, can we trade? I mean, yes, technically, but like I said, I don't believe a trade will get done until after this road trip. So after we get done with the Hornets game, that's when I think a trade will start to happen. I mean, it might not happen till the trade deadline, but I think so. Like the 6th, I think it is. Maybe the 6th, because it's just really difficult, right, for trades to go down when you're on a road trip. Because, like, let's say it's DeJounte Murray. Now, DeJounte Murray, wherever he's at, let's say he is on. Where do they play next, right? Hang on, let's see. Let's do this in real time because I get asked stuff like this all the time. So I think it's good to explain to people. So, all right. So Atlanta played at home today. Where's their next game? Are they at home or on the road? So, okay. So they're at home again. Okay. But so them being at home, what would happen? Let's say DeJounte Murray gets traded tomorrow. And I'm not saying it never happens. It's just look at most trades. Most of the teams are at home that end up receiving the player, right? Because what would happen is DeJounte Murray would go from Atlanta, get traded. He would have to fly to the Lakers, right, to Crypto and LA, go get evaluated, go through all the testing and stuff like that to make sure that he is good to go, right? That takes, usually about a day or whatever. And then he's got to go jump on a plane and fly wherever they're at and get acclimated with the team and all that stuff. And hopefully you can insert him and it works. Or you insert him and he's terrible because he has no time to play with the team or anything like that. And it just becomes awkward, right? Then if, like, let's say Atlanta was in, like, New York, right? Then that would be even worse because Atlanta would have to fly from New York to Atlanta, or DeJounte Murray would have to fly from New York to Atlanta, then fly to LA, then fly from LA to Charlotte. It becomes very difficult. So my guess, again, it's just a guess. You never know, right? My guess, and especially since the Lakers are winning and they have the Hornets now, I don't think the Lakers will feel the pressure to like get it done today. My guess is the Lakers will get back on the 6th, and then maybe we see something happen. Maybe we see some trade go down. Maybe we see something go down because they would be here because they have like a 3-game homestand or something like that. They're here for like 8 or 9 days, something like that, right? And they have like 3 days in between before the trade deadline. So if you could get a trade done on the 6th, let's say, or the 7th, then that would give you like 2 or 3 days before you play your next game to where he can kind of get acclimated. He can kind of fit in with the roster, with the team, kind of get some reps, right? So he's not just out there kind of just being out there. He can actually get a feel for everything. So that's kind of my guess. So personally, I wouldn't expect anything till like Tuesday, the earliest. Maybe we get some small trade, right? That doesn't really matter, right? Maybe we get somebody like a Miles Bridges or something, right? And that happens possibly, but like any significant trades probably aren't going to happen until the Lakers get back home. Tyler, if you were the front office, tell me what you would do in the exact order. It would start with the trades. So obviously you have to figure out what's out there, what the deal is, right? Because just because rumors and stuff are out there, how viable is the actual information? Like that's something that like I try to explain to people, right? We don't know the things that are going on in the front office. Like we don't know the conversations that Rob Pelinka has had, what's realistic, what's not, right? Teams have talks about players every day, right? Rob Pelinka is on the phone probably constantly, all day, every day, talking about this guy, talking about that guy, touching base again with this team about that. So that's where a lot of the problems lie. But let's say DeJounte Murray is the focus. That would be my focus. Go get DeJounte, because you don't want to spread yourself too thin, right? Focus at one thing at a time. Get the best deal possible. Go figure out how do we get DeJounte Murray. Do what it takes to get DeJounte Murray. Preferably if that's a 3-team deal, let's say it's the Nets. Can I get a Royce O'Neal and Dorian Finney-Smith, especially now that Vando may be out for the season, right? I'd go get me a point guard, athletic point guard for now in the future, and DeJounte Murray. Go get a Royce O'Neal, Dorian Finney-Smith. Then I would try to see if I'd try to hit up Charlotte or something, see if maybe I could get like a Miles Bridges and a Nick Richards. What can I do in that regards, right? Can I get a backup center? Can I do something like that? So first address would be get the all-star level player that's going to have the biggest impact. Boom. Let me lock up DeJounte Murray. Then I'd go try to get the other complementary pieces. If I can get the complementary pieces in the DeJounte Murray deal, then I'll get the complementary pieces in the DeJounte Murray deal. Then at that point, there's not really much left to do if I'm Rob Pelinka. Because, again, I know a lot of people want Darvin Ham fired. It just, for what? There's not anybody that's out there that makes any sense. There's not anybody that's out there that's like, okay, I know people want Mark Jackson. One, Mark Jackson hasn't coached in years. And two, he probably is never going to coach. However you feel about the situation that happened with him, it's how you feel about the situation. I'm not here to talk about that. But regardless, however you feel about it, Mark Jackson is pretty much blackballed from the league. So outside of that, like, who are you getting? Like Terry Stott, like, okay, what has he done? Right? Like, I'm not a big fan of him. Nobody really out there. I'd wait till the offseason, see what's available, see what's out there, and see what I can get. Right? You hope that the team rights the ship. Now that guys aren't worried about getting traded and guys aren't worried about whatever, and Darvin Ham has his basically team locked up and you have some stability now, get through the season and then evaluate in the offseason. I just don't know, like, what other moves can Rob Pelinka in the front office really make. So to me, go get that all-star because that's the guy that's going to have the biggest impact or potentially have the biggest impact. Go get that all-star into DeJounte Murray. If you can get some complimentary pieces in that deal, cool, perfect. If you can't, go get them elsewhere. Even if you can, still do your due diligence. Try to go get some upgrades around the edges. Like I said, a Miles Bridges, Nick Richards. If you can't get those guys or anything like that, then I try to get a center, see what's in the buyout market, free agents. Worst case scenario, you get like a Bismack Biyombo, and you're off to the races. I love it. Yes, I'm right there with you, Jay. I'm right there with you. We need a backup point guard and a buyout market. Well, very well could be Chris Paul and Kyle Lowry, which I wouldn't mind in a backup role. We'll also see what the Lakers do with Gabe Vincent. They're trying, again, based on reports, they're trying very hard to trade DeJounte Murray to clear up cap space. So D'Lo got played off the court by DeJounte. Meanwhile, Reaves balled out in the fourth. Come on, man. He did. Look, Reaves, credit where credit is due. He was fantastic. DiVincenzo definitely gave D'Lo some work. D'Lo, again, he's been great. He has his bad moments. He has his good moments, just like anybody. But let's not pretend that D'Lo didn't just have a 2.5 week stretch where he was averaging 28 a game and was fantastic. I mean, he even in that Celtics game put on an absolute clinic. He didn't shoot the ball very well. He was 5 of 20 from the field, but he also was 50% from three-point range and nearly had a triple-double and put on a masterclass in that game. So, again, let's not be prisoners of the moment, right? Give credit where credit's due. Give criticism where criticism is due, right? D'Lo definitely deserves some criticism, but let's not blow things out of proportion. Regardless, there's nothing D'Lo's going to do that is going to keep him on this team. Lakers want to trade him for financial purposes. He's gone. They're going to keep Reaves. So, yeah. You can see the potential in the in-season tournament games. The Lakers have personnel to be top 5 defense. They do. They absolutely do. And it's just, can they do that consistently? Can they put it together? I went as extra sweet because I really hate New York sports teams. Hey, then you got an added bonus. Yeah, against the hot Knicks team, definitely. I mean, you're talking about literally they've been the hottest team in the league for the last month and a half. Yeah, 9-game win streak broken. Great win. I just want to get the negativity out of the way. LeBron's defense annoys me too. No way. LeBron had some great defensive sequences in this game. I actually liked how I thought he was really locked in and engaged this game. But yeah, we definitely need to stay the course, stay the track. Ham's defensive game plan was excellent today. Agreed. Again, like I said, we're always so quick to jump on Darvin Ham, myself included. Darvin Ham's bad. Darvin Ham this. Darvin Ham that. This player that. This player this. This player that. We gotta reward people and praise them when they do well. Darvin Ham had an excellent game plan. It was executed beautifully by the players. Credit the players for getting the job done on the game plan. This is just, again, an all-around team game. Darvin Ham did his job. Players did their job, and it led to success. What's going on, Jay? Appreciate you being here. In just a week, we beat the Warriors, Celtics, and now the Knicks. Life is good. It is good, except for we lost to what? The Hawks, and who was the other team? Blanking on the other team. But, yeah, that's the problem. If we didn't lose those games in between, I'd feel great. But according to some people, they have to trade AD and LeBron. People can be silly. Oh, y'all like Ham now? No, I still think Darvin Ham is not. It hasn't been good this year. I think Darvin Ham still needs to be fired next season unless it improves, it turns around. But the thing is, look, like I've said, Darvin Ham has shown he can be a good coach. He was excellent in the playoffs and that back half of the season. After we got those new pieces, he was just en fuego. Darvin Ham was excellent during the back half of the season. He had his games here and there, don't get me wrong, but for the most part, he coached brilliantly, got into the playoffs. He greatly outcoached the Grizzlies and the Warriors. There were questions about the Denver series, but no one really showed up. There were times where he was just kind of grasping for straws because just where was everybody, right? Outside of Austin Reaves. But, again, he's shown the ability to be a good coach. It's just, much like this team, can he consistently be a good coach? Can he? He's had games sprinkled all season where he's been excellent. The game plans are brilliant. The timeouts, the rotation, the stuff, everything. He's had games where he looks like a real head coach. It's just, can he put it together game in and game out? It's he has he'll have a 2 or 3 game stretch, just like the players on this team. Right? He'll have a 2 or 3 game stretch where it's just there's the coach, there's the guy. Let's go. And then it's almost like he starts trying to get cute again, and he tries to have like big brain stuff, and it's like, oh, let me try this, and it's like, dude, sometimes the simple answer is the best answer, right? You don't have to do calculus every time. You just need to do basic math, right? Um, Great back-to-back win. We definitely need a point of attack defender or a legit two-way. Agreed. I'm right there with you. Andrew, coming out $2 super chat. Thank you so much. Not gonna lie, Murray, AR, Dorian Finney-Smith, LeBron, and AD would be lethal together. I would love that. I really would. Got your point of attack guard. Got your 3-and-D, legit 3-and-D, sizable wing that can play multiple positions. Austin Reaves, if he keeps playing the way he's been playing, then now you got that. LeBron and AD, it would be tough. I'm right there with you. That's the hope. That's the hope. And look, I know that we got the report that like the Brooklyn Nets turned down 2 firsts or whatever for Dorian Finney-Smith. There's a couple things about that. One, is that even true? Right? Because look, sometimes reports get put out there, and that doesn't mean that it's true, right? And it has nothing to do with the reporter. It's just the information that they got, right? Sometimes you get wrong information. But secondly, like we've seen teams, like look at Toronto, right? They're turning down 4 firsts and all this stuff and like 2 young players for OG Anunoby, and everyone's like, dude, Toronto's an idiot. Like, he's not even worth that. And then it turns out like, oh, they traded him for less. Why did they trade him for less? Because they didn't want the picks. They wanted the players, right? So Brooklyn may go, well, we don't want 2 first-round picks. We can't be bad, right? Like Houston has like all their picks. So they're probably looking at it as like, we'd rather have players that help us now in the future than, a crapshoot and draft picks, right? So that's the thing. Like, it's the same reason. Like, people were talking about, like, why would they turn down 4 firsts for Mikal Bridges? And it's like, because they don't want to be bad. They want to be a good team. Now, if you gave them 2 or 3 quality players, then maybe you would get Mikal Bridges. To me, it looks like they don't want draft picks. They want players. And maybe, D'Lo, Rui Hachimura, both those guys make sense. Maybe you can work something out with them, or at least I hope. Let's see. Coswin, coming out the $5 super chat. Let's go. Take a shot and hope they don't lay an egg in the Hornets. Yeah, I hope not. I don't have any liquor. I don't have any liquor on me, unfortunately, Coswin. Take a shot with this with you. Cheers, my friend. Appreciate you. Maybe we'll do something to celebrate the trade deadline if we rattle off some wins here, or not wins, some trades. We need to rattle off some wins, but maybe post trade deadline, or maybe deadline day, we'll do something like that. But yes, that's my problem, Coswin. I don't know if you were here in the stream earlier, but I said basically this very thing, like when I started the stream. Like, I want to just be like, oh man, 3-game win streak, here we come. But we have seen from these Lakers, they'll show up against the great teams. They'll beat the Clippers, and they'll beat the Warriors, and then they'll lose to Atlanta. And then it's like, and then we'll beat the Celtics without LeBron and AD. We'll beat the Knicks, who've been the hottest team in the league, right? And then we'll lose to the Charlotte Hornets. It's just, I want to believe, I want to say that they're going to win this game, and we're going to rattle off 3, 4, 5 in a row, and we're going to right the ship, and things are going to be good. But in the same time, I'm kind of like I could see them laying an egg. But definitely, I have my concerns, guys. But appreciate you. Thank you, buddy. Andrew, I don't believe the Dorian Finney-Smith thing to top 29 protected. Yeah, I don't believe that either. But even if it was, again, that shows me that they don't want, like, if that really is true, then that tells me they don't want picks, they want players, right? And Brooklyn they have a ton of threes. They don't have a real 4, right? And they don't have a playmaker. So if they can get a playmaker in D'Angelo Russell, and they can get Rui Hachimura, right, who now they have a legit 4, right? They could literally have their starting 5 be D'Lo, Bridges, Johnson, Rui, and Claxton. And that's better than what they're putting out there right now. Because you have a bunch of you have the tweener forwards, right? The in-between guys, right? You have the 3s having to play 4s when really they're 3s. Well, Rui is best at the 4. So you get him, you put him at the 4, boom, you give up Dorian Finney-Smith. It's a win-win for everybody, right? That to me is kind of where I lean. Um, D'Lo Rui makes too much sense for Brooklyn. D'Lo, Brooklyn return. They really do. They really do. Like they desperately need a playmaker, right? Ben Simmons. The idea was that he would be that, but he's played 7 games for them this season. He came back, played 1 game, and then got hurt again, and is out till who knows when. They desperately need D'Lo. They need to move off not Dorian Finney-Smith, uh, Spencer Dinwiddie, because they just like Spencer Dinwiddie is like basically quit on the team. So they need to move off of him. Boom, you get D'Lo in that deal for basically free, and then you give up Dorian Finney-Smith for Rui Hachimura, and there you go. Like I said, their starting 5 could literally be D'Lo, Bridges, Johnson, Rui, and Claxton. Boom, there you go. And again, to me, that's better than what they're putting out there right now. And then you still have Johnson and or Thomas, not Johnson, Thomas, Cam Thomas, and the other pieces that you have off the bench. It's a win-win for all parties. But again, appreciate you, Andrew. All right, where were we in the chat? Here we go. Great back-to-back wins. We definitely need a legit two-way. Yeah, that's where we were. Perfect. Hillbilly Kobe is back. He's looking like it. Hopefully, he can keep it up. Hopefully, he can maintain it. Quality wins by the Lakers on the road. What the heck? Keep it up. Quick recovery to Vando. Hopefully, there was a report. Like I said, I still got to make a video and talk about it. But apparently, Vando. Yeah, I'm hoping Vando ain't out, man. Yeah. According to Woj, Vando might miss the season. So hopefully he'll be back for the playoffs, right? Maybe it's just something where like he misses the remainder of the season, but he's back for the playoffs. That would be helpful. Poor Vando is hurt. We definitely need to trade. I'm proud of us. Yeah, facts. Ham actually made game adjustments. Yep. He had a very good game. He had a very good game. But wow, Lakers chilled out for 3 quarters. Got to keep it honest at all times. Yeah. Easy win. Yo, would say easy, but it was a great win. Definitely. Smoking that Knicks pack. Yep. I'm with you, Zen Master. You heard they said LeBron's going to the Knicks. Yeah. People were campaigning for that so bad. Without Brunson, he's their engine. Coach Ham is fine. It's clear it was players that were the problem. They don't play the right type of way and intensity every night. They do. Look, Darvin Ham has been pretty bad. Like I've defended Darvin Ham heavily, but he just hasn't been great. Right, early on, I was very defensive of Darvin Ham because it's like, dude, we have all these injuries. He's trying to figure stuff out. Right, it's early in the season. You're trying to experiment. Right, we were 5 games over 500. We just won the in-season tournament. Like, let's relax. Right. But then it just kept going, and it's like, okay, teams go on bad streaks. Things happen. Again, things are in and out. Just trying to test stuff. Okay. But then after some point, it's like, okay, like he's not doing what he's supposed to be doing either. But like I've said countless times, what bothers me is when people put it solely on Darvin Ham. Like if we fire Darvin Ham, all of a sudden all our problems are fixed. It's not true. Darvin Ham is part of the problem, but he's not the main problem. The main problem is them, like you said, Sammy, showing up and playing the right way game in and game out. Right? When you play the right way, the Lakers win. When they don't play the right way and there's no energy and effort and they're not playing defense and they're all lackadaisical out there and they're not hustling, they're not chasing down loose balls and they're not hitting shots and they're not doing the things that they're supposed to be doing, it doesn't matter who the coach is. That's where I say things like if we had prime Phil Jackson, it doesn't matter. Right? Because the players have to show up. They have to do their job. Yes, definitely need a defensive wing or legit 3 and D wing. Right? I mean, I don't want to get another just defensive wing that can't score. Excellent total team game. Yes, agreed. Excellent. What trades do you think they make? I think 3-team DeJounte because he had a better contract than D'Lo, even though I don't want D'Lo to go, but we get Royce O'Neal. Then I think we should get Drummond. I think I'm pretty confident DeJounte Murray happens. Again, I don't know for certain. I'm just a guy, right? But it just based on everything that has came out, it just looks like DeJounte Murray is going to happen. I mean, even Jake Fisher, had a report yesterday that was like the Nets are pretty confident they're going to get a deal done with the Lakers. So, like again, we've had so many credible people, so many reports, right? Usually where there's smoke, there's fire, and there's been a lot of smoke, right? And it just now it's starting to ember, and now I'm just waiting for that flame to kick up. So I do think it's going to be DeJounte Murray. I do think it's going to be the Brooklyn Nets because it just makes too much sense. It's just figuring out all the little nuances of the trade, right? Okay, we want this guy. This guy's going to go here. This guy's going to go there. Royce O'Neal, whatever, whomever. Ideally, I'd love Dorian Finney-Smith. I'd love to get both if there's a way for us to get both. Again, we'll see. Time will tell. But I definitely think DeJounte Murray is the deal. And then beyond that, like I'm not too worried about a center. I'm not saying we don't need one. We absolutely need one. But like again, you got a couple options in free agency still. May end up being a couple on the buyout market. We'll see. Time will tell. Also, there's a couple like just cheap centers that make sense that like could be very nice for the Lakers that I don't think would cost them a bunch. So I don't like. I'm not like to me the center thing is like the least concerning because I do expect them to clean it up. And you don't need some big starting level center. You just need somebody that can come in, trickle in, play the minutes that Anthony Davis is out in a game where 80 rests. He can come in and play 30 minutes. But for the most part, he's playing like 10 minutes or whatever. Lakers should remove LeBron as a ball handler. I mean, they have for a while. LeBron hasn't really been the ball. I mean, LeBron's done a better job playing off ball recently, and it's led to more success, right? Because he's not dominating the ball like he was early. Nice back-to-back victories. Agree. Better not lose to the Hornets. Seriously. Let's see what else. TP is better off the bench. Yes, agreed. Houston, that's who it was. Thank you. I like blanked on that other team. But yeah, we lost against Houston and Hawks, beat Boston and the Knicks. Lakers are crazy, dog. Yeah, that's my problem. Like I want to say like we're gonna run through the Hornets, but bro, that's my point. I'm right there with you. It's so frustrating. Let's see. Great defense. Yes. Tyler, are you starting to believe in what? Austin Reaves? Look, again, I sold Austin Reaves like he was the second coming of Michael Jordan, right? Again, it's all in video. Like I can't go look at old live streams. Look at the off-season videos that I made about Austin Reaves. Look at the videos early on in the season where everyone was ragging on Austin Reaves and everyone was telling us how he's trash and blah, 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 and how much I defended him and talked about him and hyped him up. And then he just kept doing it, right? Like, again, he's had 4, 5, 6 game sample sizes where he's been great. And he looks like old Austin Reaves. But I don't care about 2 games of him going, or 3 games now, of him going for 20 plus. And I don't even necessarily need him to score 20 game in and game out. I'm not asking for that. And I'm not asking him for him to score 30 points a game. I'm just asking him to be consistent, right? If you're going to score 15 a game on like that was the thing. Like last year, he wasn't scoring 20 to 30 points a game every game. He was just extremely efficient, extremely effective. He wasn't a liability on the defensive side. He wasn't great defensively, but he wasn't getting just torched every possession, right? And again, that's been the issue all season long with him. He's had little stretches, which is great, right? And again, I've never said to trade Austin Reaves for Miles Bridges or something like that. Like I'm not saying to trade Austin Reaves for another role player. But if you can get DeJounte, even as good as Austin Reaves has been right now, he's still not better than DeJounte Murray. Even if Austin Reaves plays exactly how he's played the last 3 games, every game, the rest of the season and the postseason, he's still not better than DeJounte Murray, right? Like, so if you can get a clear upgrade, right? Again, I'm not opposed to trading anybody. If it's a clear upgrade, I'm not just trading people, just trade people. But like if Denver called right now and was like, hey, give us Anthony Davis, we'll give you Jokic. Duh, here you go. Right? Like, if the Bucks called right now and they were like, hey, we'll give you Giannis for LeBron. Duh, here you go. right? Like it just again, it depends on what the circumstance is. I'm not like, oh, trade D'Lo and keep Reaves and then flip flop. No, it's just D'Lo. If you're going to get that other guy, right, and you need that complimentary, D'Lo has just been more consistent in that role this year. So my thing is like, if you have that consistency, that's great. If Reaves can turn it around and get back, and he can consistently do this, perfect. That is beautiful. That is brilliant. Again, I love Austin Reaves. I love him. He is great. I would love to have him on the Lakers forever, but I love the Lakers more, right? And if we can move closer to a championship by trading Austin Reaves, I would rather win a championship than say, oh, well, at least we kept Reaves. Like, I love Reaves, but if you can get a clear, definitive upgrade, I don't care how good Austin Reaves is, trade him, right? Austin Reaves is an incredible role player. He's a blue chip role rotation player, right? But he's not an all-star player. I want him to be. I thought he could get there, but he hasn't looked like it this year. And again, even a 5-game sample size it doesn't equal a 50-game sample size. So that's the problem. Again, I love Austin Reaves, but if you can get a clear upgrade, get the clear upgrade. Andrew, coming in hot. What do you think, or what do you predict happens by the trade deadline? Rundown. Again, my guess. I really believe we get the DeJounte Murray trade. I'm hoping we get some other pieces in a deal with Brooklyn. It's a 3-team deal, and I'm hoping it's not just here's D'Lo to Brooklyn, Spencer Dinwiddie to Atlanta, and then DeJounte Murray to Lakers. I'm hoping it's like here's Rui for Dorian Finney-Smith or whatever, right? I'm hoping we get at least 1 or 2 pieces. I'm fine with either Royce O'Neal or Dorian Finney-Smith. Either one, I'd be okay with. I think realistically, it's probably more likely we get Royce O'Neal. But if we can get Dorian Finney-Smith, sign me up. So I think we get the 3-team Brooklyn deal done. Then I think that there is that like 1 or 2 offset trades, right? Where it's like they're like marginal moves, but they make more sense, right? Like the Lakers are trying to trade Gabe Vincent, right? Where they basically trade Gabe Vincent for Nick Richards and Miles Bridges, and they give up 2 seconds or something like that. And it's like, okay, now you addressed your center, now you addressed another wing. You're probably losing him in the offseason, but you're clearing off cap space, which is cool. So now you can use your exception again next season, right? That's kind of what I expect. I think the Lakers, I think the Lakers have the big grand trade and then have like 1 or 2 little subtle trades. Kind of like what you saw last year. Just I don't think it'll be as abundant as last year, right? Like you had the Rui deal, and then you had like the big trade with D'Lo and Vando and Beasley, and then you had like the Mo Bamba and Thomas Bryant for picks, and you had like all these little other subtle trades. I don't think that happens, right? I think it'll just be little. Okay, here's the big trade, and then either one multi-piece small trade or 2 little small trades, right? So I think ultimately, I think the Lakers will get back like anywhere from like 3 to 5 players is what I think. I think it'll just come down to cost and like what is like realistic out there. And I'm sure there will be a deal that like, because more times than not there is that trade that happens that like no one expects, right? Like last year was the Rui deal. Right? And as much as like I joke like, oh, see, I saw it come. I mean, I was just talking. I was just like, oh, and then the D'Lo deal, right? Again, that was something that I predicted, but it wasn't like a real. Like I just was like, hey, it was just looking at the landscape and going, that guy makes sense. They need to trade him. Lakers could use him. What about this, right? So it's kind of just like throwing darts at a wall and having a couple hit. But I think you get the big trade and then you get a couple like minor moves, something like that. But where were we? Trade AR, they said. Look, again, it depends on what the trade is. So let me ask you something, Al. If where's your no trading Austin Reaves at? Right? The if the Dallas Mavericks called right now and said, "Give us Austin Reaves and we'll give you Kyrie Irving," would you trade for Kyrie Irving right now? If the if it's like, okay, maybe you don't like DeJounte Murray, maybe you don't think DeJounte Murray is a piece. Okay, well, do you need like like Donovan Mitchell, or would you? No, you're not trading Austin Reaves again. Like, where's your barometer? Is Austin Reaves really untradeable to you? So if Giannis right now, if they were like, hey, give us Austin Reaves, Rui Hachimura, and Gabe Vincent, we'll give you Giannis right now. Are you going, nah, sorry, hard pass. No, love Giannis, but Austin Reaves, Michael Jordan 2.0. Like, again, where is the bar? Because if you're willing to trade him for anybody, then he's not untradeable to you. And so, again, there's nothing wrong with wanting to trade guys if it's a clear upgrade. I'm not saying you trade Austin Reaves for Nick Richards. I'm not saying you trade Austin Reaves for Andre Drummond. I'm not saying you trade Austin Reaves for no. But if it's a clear upgraded player, you do it. That's what I mean. So yes, I absolutely. If the right deal comes along and you can trade Austin Reaves and get a clear-cut better option, you go get the clear-cut better option. So trade AR, they said delusional. Again, where is your? Would you trade him for Giannis? Would you trade him for Kyrie? Would you trade him for Donovan Mitchell? Would you trade him for, if you won't trade him for DeJounte? Like, where's your cutoff? If you answered yes to any of those, then it's not delusional to trade Austin Reaves. You just have a higher bar than somebody else, which again, you're not going to be able to trade Austin Reaves for just those guys, right? So my only thing is like a realistic bar, right? You could realistically trade DeJounte Murray for Austin Reaves. We know that. We know that could happen right now. I mean, you have to throw in, Max Christie, or not Max Christie, Jalen Ichifino or whatever, but still, it's realistic. You could go make that. You could do that. Make it happen. It's a clear-cut trade. Let's see. Our problem is that without AD, we don't have another player that is going to protect the rim. The problem is, like, who's out there that really is going to do that? Most of the guys that are out there, teams aren't really trading. The only center you're going to get is, like, a backup center. You're not going to get some, like, great elite center, or you're going to have to get somebody that you're heavily overpaying for, like a Clint Capella, right? Which, again, I'm not completely against Clint Capella. I don't think he's really worth the value, but if he helps you win, then yes. Clint, trade AR. Again, I'll ask you the same question, Clint. Where's your bar? Is AR really untouchable? If your answer isn't yes, he's completely untouchable, which would be completely silly because he's not a star. He's not a superstar. He's not even an all-star yet. All right? Like, again, where's your bar? Trade D'Lo. D'Lo's probably going to get traded, yes. Let's see. D'Lo benched in the fourth for defense again, but I'm told we should keep him over AR. He's been better defensively throughout the season. Was he bad this game? Absolutely. Did he deserve to be benched this game? Absolutely. But he hasn't. It's like, Austin Reaves was great defensively this game. Austin Reaves was very good defensively. He's actually been very good defensively the last couple games. But again, let's not overreact to one game. Who has been the better defensive player all season? D'Angelo Russell. Which player is getting targeted game in and game out all season? Austin Reaves. Okay. Did he have a bad defensive game? Absolutely. Should he be criticized for it? Absolutely. But again, let's not be prisoners of the moment. Let's see. We got to be professional in Charlotte. Yes, agreed. Got to show up. Got to show up. 3 out of our best defense players are out. Yeah, which sucks. It does. It sucks. Why didn't AD take a lot of shots today? Because they didn't need to. Everyone else was cooking, which is something that I love about Anthony Davis. You see a lot of stars that they have to get their shots. They don't care. They don't care if everyone else is cooking. They need their 20 shots or whatever, right? That's one of the things that I love about AD. He's totally fine with, hey, Reaves is cooking, Prince is cooking. LeBron's doing his thing. D'Lo's hitting shots. Everybody's doing their stuff. Instead of me disrupting that by taking 20 shots, let me just lock down defensively, rebound the basketball like a madman, and ramp up my energy in other categories. I love that. I love that because we didn't need him to take 30 shots this game, right? If we absolutely needed him to go get a bucket, I'm sure LeBron or Reaves or somebody would have gotten him a bucket. But they were cooking. They were hitting big shots. They were closing down the stretch. They were doing the things that they're capable of doing. So why force the issue, especially when teams like they're trapping 80. They want you to get the ball down to 80. So instead of making things difficult, just do the right thing. We want tacos. For the majority of the season, however, LeBron has ignored defense and has been terrible body language. I mean, I don't know about terrible body language. I mean, the guy's been incredible defensively. Yes, he takes a lot of defensive possessions off, and it drives me crazy. What else? Bro, you wanted to trade Reaves for Zach LaVine? Well, first off, we didn't know Zach LaVine was going to get season-ending surgery, and two, it wasn't for just Zach LaVine. I said if you can get Alex Caruso. I even said in that video that I wouldn't trade Austin Reaves straight up for Zach LaVine. I literally said that in the video. I said if it's just for Zach LaVine, I wouldn't do it. But if you can get Zach LaVine and Alex Caruso, I would do it if you got DeJounte Murray, right? Because now you'd have DeJounte Murray, Zach LaVine, Alex Caruso, LeBron James, and Anthony Davis. You're probably the best team in the league at that point. So, again, if you're going to quote something that I said or tell me something I said, make sure you get it right. Why is Torian called Ham's baby daddy? I don't know if anyone else ever said that. I just said it in a video being funny, and now I get a ton of comments about it. It's just because Darvin Ham plays Torian Prince like 40 minutes a game, and it's like he has like some file on him or something. Like there's something going on there for why he gets so crazy. Let's see. Like if Rui isn't going to close games for us, he's got to go. 17 million is too much for 19 minutes per game. I agree. He just doesn't fit on this current roster because he's best at the 4. He can't guard and defend the quicker, twitchier wings. He has to play the 4. But as long as you have LeBron on this team, he's never going to get the opportunity to play the 4. Putting Rui in the starting 5 was an excellent move. I mean, I'm just glad Torian Prince was out, to be honest. Doing a great job keeping the energy up. They're going to be solid if they trade Rui for 3-and-D like Dorian Finney-Smith. I'm with you. I'm with you, Dylan the Villain. We need Murray Reaves backcourt badly. That's very likely what's going to happen. I really do think that's going to ultimately happen. Fingers crossed. Prince did better than Rui tonight, to be honest. Prince had a very good game tonight. Like, I know he had a couple blunders or whatever. Stuff happens. He was very good off the bench for the Lakers tonight. Again, I like Torian Prince a lot. I think he is huge for the Lakers. But not in a 40-minute, not playing 40 minutes a game. I don't. That's the problem. Like, so many people, I think a lot of people are just upset with Prince and trash Prince because they have to see him play 40 minutes and he's not that guy, or 35 minutes or whatever. And I don't think he's that guy, right? But in like a 15 to 20 minute role, I think he's great. Like off the bench, 15 to 20 minutes. I wouldn't if you had the right pieces, I wouldn't even mind him starting. Like if you wanted to move Reaves to the bench and have him be your 6th man, and you want to have Prince, and you want to do like Murray, Prince, Vanderbilt. Well, obviously Vando's out, but before everything, Vando, LeBron, and AD. And then close with Reaves and everything like that. And Prince is just kind of starting for 20 minutes and you just have him for the shooting. And then if he doesn't have it, you just take him out and put Reaves in. Like, I wouldn't even hate something like that. But to me, it's the amount of playing time that he's getting. It's not so much his production. The dude's basically been a lock all season. He's been our best 3-point shooter all season. And he's been nearly a 3 to 4 3-point a game guy. Um, oh, Embiid was diagnosed with a displaced flap in his meniscus in his left knee and is weighing rest rehab or procedure, according to two sources. It's not good for Sixers. But anyway, yeah, that's my problem. It's just the amount of minutes Prince is playing. Let's go. 2 games above 500. I hope so. We got to beat the Hornets. We're 1 game over 500. We beat the Hornets for 2. I'd love that. Should AD focus more on the defensive end more than the offensive end? I think it just depends on what we need, right? Because like when everybody's cooking and everyone's playing the way that we played today, then I don't think AD. I think realistically, AD doesn't need to average more than like 20 a game, right? But the problem is like there's a big one of the reasons role players are role players and stars are stars is because stars consistently give you, incredible production game in a game. Like Reaves isn't a star because he can't give you what he's done the last 3 games. He can't give it to you every single night. He gives it to you, 3 or 4 games in a row, and then he has 2 or 3 games where he's just bad, and then he'll do it for another 2 or 3 games in a row, and then he has games where he's just bad, right? Like that's the thing, right? So I think it just depends on what the situation calls for, which is what I like about AD, right? He doesn't mind, okay, like everyone's cooking. Let me just focus on rebounding, playing defense, and being the best version of that I can be out here. Darvin's baby daddy, yo, I'm glad people are starting to realize DP needs to come off the bench. She's better. That sniper off the bench. Get Vando. Yeah, we definitely need Vando. Yeah, the baby daddy thing. And it's slowly becoming my thing, apparently. Let's see. Sorry, trying to find something to meme. All right, what time is 9 o'clock? I wanted to get a late video up. Like I said, don't forget to like the video. Subscribe to the channel. If you're not subscribed and you haven't hit that like button, hit that like button. Subscribe to the channel. People are beautiful. But all right, I'm gonna power through a couple more sheets here, and then I'm going to start setting stuff up for tomorrow. Plus, I'm tired. I've had a long day. I went straight. I came home immediately, cut the midway through the second through the end of the game because it was at a kid's birthday party with all my kids. So kids wear me out. I'm tired, but got a lot of work to do. So, let's see. The DeJounte Murray trade is not going to happen, but I don't know. Don't be surprised. Don't be surprised. Let's see. Reaves can easily raise his 3-point average to 38, 39% in a couple weeks. Yes, and if I believe he can too. But the problem is, like, will he? That's the problem. Is will he? Can he consistently do that? If he does, he'll get back to being the Austin Reaves we know and love. If he can, because a lot of his issue is he hasn't been able to shoot this year. I mean, the defensive side has been an issue also, but if his 3-point shot starts to fall, then that's going to open up everything else. Teams won't be able to defend him the way that they have because they won't be able to just leave him wide open anymore. Like teams are literally okay with just letting him shoot back in the paint because they know he misses 2 or 3 of those in a row. He's going to try to be aggressive and get to the basket. So, Ty, what do you read stats for? Because not everybody gets to see the game. Not everyone knows like what happened. Like a lot of people like to have the understanding. Even people that watch this post game or watch it after the live stream, a lot of people like to know. And just trying to inform, trying to. No, not everyone gets to sit and watch all day. Some people on their break are listening to live stream, want to be informed, want to be updated. Hey, I didn't get to see the game. How did people do, how did teams do? Plus, it's nice to just kind of break down and go over and talk about each individual player. And it doesn't take long. I spend 2-3 minutes on that at the most. Sometimes I just run through it if it's like a bad game. Let's see. I'm assuming Vando was done. There's not like a clear answer yet, but it's not like it's not looking great. Um, let's see. Um, let's see. AR is the third most important player. That's what the announcer just said because of his big impact and his assist making. Tyler, you need to stop labeling him as a scorer. They said the exact same thing for like 2 weeks when D'Lo was doing that. Reggie Miller was on a stream praising D'Lo as their clear-cut third best player. For 2 weeks, everyone was talking about how bad Reaves is, and D'Lo was their third best player. Again, let's not overreact to the moment, right? Watch, listen to announcers when somebody's playing. If Jared Vanderbilt, I know he's out, but if Jared Vanderbilt all of a sudden went on a 20-game run, every announcer would be like, Jared Vanderbilt is their best defensive player and their third best option. He needs to be that's what they do. They hype up the guy in the moment, right? Austin Reaves is on a great stretch. He's the third best player. He's the most important player. D'Lo had a 2-week stretch in which he averaged 28 a game, and every announcer was stroking him like he was their daddy. Like, again, let's not pretend like it happened. And look, Reaves, he hasn't been good defensively. Yes, he can get assists, but there's a difference between getting assists and actually being a playmaker, right? D'Lo is a playmaker. He gets guys in positions. He set guys up. He constantly has his head on a swivel. He's out here making insane dimes. Reaves is the find the open man, drive and kick, pick and roll type guy. There's a big difference between a guy that can get assists, right? There's a lot of guys in the NBA that can find the open man, that can find the occasional cutter, that can draw the attention and throw up a lob, right? That's not the same thing as dissecting the defense, finding the holes, seeing things develop before they develop, making plays, throwing the ball precisely in spots. You'll see a lot of times Austin Reaves will make a pass and it's not in the pocket. So like Prince has to like take a dribble and a setup or establish. But you'll see like D'Lo make a pass and boom, it's right in the shooter pocket, catches it, and he just shoots. Again, big difference between a playmaker and a guy that can get assists. A lot of guys can get assists in the league, right? Guy like DeMar DeRozan, Zach LaVine, right, can get assists. But to make plays and actually be a playmaker is very different. LeBron James is a playmaker. He sees things no one else sees. He sees things unfold before it unfolds. That's a big difference, right? Big difference. You're confusing the two. But again, when Austin Reaves is not playing defense and his three-point shot isn't falling, again, that he's just a scorer in those times. He is just scoring those moments. But when he's playing like this and he has a nice all-around game and he's locking down defensively, then yes, he's playing more. Again, what has he done all season? I don't care what he's done for 2 games. I don't care what he's done for 5. He had a stretch like this 2 months ago where he had like 4 or 5 straight games like this. I don't care. I'm not somebody that lives in the moment. I talk about it all the time. The big pendulum swing. Oh my God, Austin Reaves is the greatest player ever. He's the Michael Jordan of the league. Oh my God, he's this, that, that. And then all of a sudden he goes on a 4-game stretch where he's terrible. And it's like, trade Austin Reaves. He's trash. He's this, that, he's whatever. Right? I've always maintained if you get DeJounte Murray, you have to trade D'Lo. Right? But I don't mind if they trade Austin Reaves to get DeJounte Murray and then move D'Lo in another deal. Right? Can you work something out where you turn D'Lo into other pieces that we need and trade Austin Reaves if that's what it takes to get DeJounte Murray? Like, what happens if the DeJounte Murray doesn't trade because they won't trade IR? I don't think this team is good enough to win a championship. I don't. Right? And again, like, it's just we can't live so much in the moment. Right? Before D'Lo went on his run, I made videos breaking them both down. People told me I was an idiot, all that stuff, and then all of a sudden, everyone changed to, we got to keep D'Lo. We can't trade D'Lo. D'Lo is the best, blah, 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 blah. And then D'Lo has 2 bad shooting games and still plays great in other areas, and everyone wants to trade him again. And Austin Reaves is now the new favorite. And then when Austin Reaves has a bad game and Taurean Prince averages 20, everyone will say, Prince is the best player. But it's just, again, it's the swing. I don't get this guy. I've been saying, and we'll keep saying, Reaves over D'Lo. Trade D'Lo, not Reaves. Well, they're going to trade D'Lo, not Reaves. But again, you're not trading Reaves, just trade Reaves. You're trading Reaves for a clear upgrade. Let's see. Trying to find a few more. Tyler. Murray, Reaves, Dorian Finney-Smith, Braun, 80 to close with Prince and O'Neal off the bench. Literally the best move we can do. I think so too. That would be really solid. I would love if we could figure something like that out. Be chef kiss. Give me that. Give me that. Get 2 more 3-point shooters, 2 more like legit 3-and-D guys. You get that 2-way guard, assuming Murray gets back to being a 2-way guard, all of that stuff. Let's see. AR is better all-around player than what? We already know AR is an assassin in the postseason, and you saw him. We don't. We know. See, that's the part. Like, again, Sammy, we have one sample size of Austin Reaves being great in 2 out of 3 playoff series. He was great in the Grizzlies series. He was great in the Nugget series. He was nearly unplayable in the first like 3 or 4 games of that Warriors series and was getting killed by Clay. Like, it was bad, right? And Austin Reaves has not been that consistent guy all season. We're assuming Austin Reaves is going to be that. We're assuming Austin Reaves is that. Like, what can Austin Reaves do that DeJounte Murray can't? DeJounte Murray is more athletic. He's a better defender. He's a better passer and playmaker. He's quicker to the basket, right? He's longer, better mid-range. He's in like the 80th or 75 percentile as far as like pull-ups and mid-range goes. Like, they're not even comparable. Like, Austin Reaves is not even close to DeJounte Murray. DeJounte Murray is a player that has actually led a team to the playoffs as the best player, and a team where no one thought they were going to make the playoffs. The guy was an all-defensive player, NBA All-Star. Like, they're not even in the same area. They're just not. Like, look, I like Austin Reaves, but he's not better than DeJounte. There is nothing Austin Reaves is better at than DeJounte Murray. DeJounte Murray is even shooting better this year than Austin Reaves. And again, it's just, and you're talking about what many people consider a terrible situation for DeJounte Murray, terrible fit. So not only is he in a bad situation, he's in a terrible fit. He's playing alongside a guy that has one of the highest usage ratings in NBA history, and he's still giving you like 25, 6, and 6 or whatever it is. Like, or sorry, 26, 25 and 6. Like, as just this guy who's just kind of out there at times. Like, it's just, again, they're not even comparable in my opinion. Like, let's see what else. Sorry, trying to find something to me. Rich Paul told LeBron James is not getting traded because LeBron James got a contract with the Lakers next season, $51.4 million. Yeah, but he could opt out of that, sign a new one. I mean, I think it'll just depend on where the Lakers are at next season. Need DeJounte, Dorian Finney-Smith, Justice Winslow to at least 10-day as a JV replacement. Justice Winslow is just bad. I love Justice Winslow. I wanted the Lakers to get him and find a way to get him so badly when he was drafted. Like, I was huge on Justice Winslow, and he's not a very good basketball player, unfortunately. We are not getting Donovan Mitchell or any other of these guys when every team in the league can outbid us. Yeah, which is one of my big problems. Which is actually originally why I didn't think we'd be able to get DeJounte Murray. But no one else needs a point guard. So, Tyus Jones and Daniel Gafford, I'd take that. That would be nice. All right, let me answer. Like, couple more of these, and then I'm gonna get out of here. Um, let's see. Sorry, trying to find something to me. Y'all need to understand. Bronny isn't even going to league in like 3 years. I don't know. I could see a team taking a flyer on him. I could see a team taking him in like the second round or even late in the first. Like a team that's just like team like Milwaukee or something. That's like they're a bad example because they don't have any picks. But somebody like that, right? Where it's like, hey, we're we might as well just take them. We're not like who else are we going to get here? Like we're not super high on anybody. Let's just draft Bronny and see what happens. Right. Plus, you get LeBron and his influence and all that stuff, and you get clutch sports on your side when LeBron retires. There's a lot of ways to look at that. A lot of ways to look at that. Tyler, have you seen Bronny play? I have. Not a ton, but I have. And what are your thought that was perfect. What happened? Oh, okay, there we go. Sorry, I don't know if you heard what I just said. It just like went black for a second. I said I thought Gilbert Arenas put it perfectly. He's a Ferrari that's trying to go the speed limit, right? Like he's okay with being another guy rather than realizing like I have the athleticism, the quickness, the strength, the toughness, the shooting ability. He's a better shooter than LeBron was at this stage of their careers, right? He's an excellent, like advanced, excellent on-ball defender. Like he's gonna like bare minimum, he's gonna come in the league and be clamping folks up right on the defense side. He can make plays. He's got the vision, right? So at worst, he'll be like a two-way point guard. But if he can find that aggression, I think people might be shocked by Bronny. Because I do. I agree with Gilbert Arenas that he has everything you want from a potential star. And yet he's okay just being a role player. Right? He's a star in a role player's body or a role player's mindset, essentially. Now, is part of that because of the health concerns, which I don't want to go too into because there's enough people talking about that, and I don't like talking about people's families and health concerns and stuff like that. But it's important for this point is part of that so far with USC kind of just like, well, they basically figured everything out without me. Let me just come in and play a role, right? Rather than come in and be like, oh, this is my team now. Also, does he kind of feel like I don't want to be LeBron James' son coming in here thinking I'm better than everybody? You know what I mean? Like kind of that passive aggressiveness. I can really see that in him. And my hope is once he gets to the league, he gets over that. Maybe it takes a year or two, but my hope is that like whoever he gets as a head coach pulls him aside and goes, dude, stop. Be great. Don't try to be LeBron. Don't think you're going to upset people, whatever. If they get upset, too bad for them, right? Go be great. And I could see him potentially being great. Because you see it. Like if you really watch him play, he has all the tools. He has the athleticism, the foot speed, the aggressiveness. He's strong like his dad, where he just basically just bully you out the way. He's got good vision, locked down defensively. I really like Bronny's potential. It's just, can he put it all together? But anyway, I'm going to end it here. I appreciate you guys. Again, thank you all so much for hanging out with me. Anybody that's watching this, please take a second, hit that like button. If you're not subscribed, hit that subscribe button. You guys are beautiful. Everyone that gave me super chats, thank you so much. Seriously, I really do appreciate it. But I'm gonna go set up videos for tomorrow. Maybe hopefully try to get some sleep early because I'm definitely tired. But anyway, you guys are awesome. and I appreciate y'all. And I will see you all in the next one. What, Monday? Monday. Yeah, Monday. See you guys Monday.